If you're interested in getting started with AI in 2024, it can be a little bit confusing to know exactly what your path should look like to get an understanding of deep learning and AI when there are so many different resources out on the internet. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through all of my favorite resources that I wish that I'd used when I first started learning AI. So let's get into it. So if you're planning on writing your own neural networks or building your own models from scratch or even fine-tuning your own models, you're going to need an understanding of the mathematics involved with AI. The resource that I would recommend for getting started with mathematics is this course here on deep learning. So this is Master the Mathematics Behind AI and Unlock Your Potential. I'll put a link to all of these resources in the description so you can click through at the end of the video. The syllabus that the course teaches covers linear algebra, calculus, and probability and statistics, which are going to be all the things that you're going to be regularly encountering when you're building, training, and fine-tuning your own AI models. This course and basically all the resources are beginner friendly, so even if you're like me and you don't have a computer science background, this is going to be a really good starting point for you. The only thing to note about this one is in order to access it, you will have to sign up to the Coursera platform. It is £39 a month, however, you do get a 7-day free trial. The programming language of AI, data science, deep learning is traditionally Python. There are so many different resources online to learn Python. You can even just use YouTube. There are plenty of different courses on there for free that you can use, but I'm going to talk about two of my favorite resources, one of them paid and one of them unpaid, to learn Python. My personal favorite is a website called Treehouse. It's one of these websites that I keep coming back to whenever I'm traditionally learning a new technology because the quality of the content is super high, the quality of the teachers is also really high, and they have a really good way of evaluating how much knowledge you took in at the end of each one of your modules. So you can maybe go through half an hour's worth of work and then there's a test at the end of it to make sure that you digested exactly what you've just gone through. They have an entire track which will get you started with Python. It basically gets you up to speed with everything that you'll need to know when you're working with Python in an AI context. Much like the deep learning course for mathematics that I was just talking about, Treehouse is also a subscription service. However, they do offer a 7-day free trial. So if you don't get along with it, you can just cancel within the first 7 days and you haven't lost anything. The other resource that I really like for getting started with Python is this course on Codecademy. Codecademy offers a bunch of paid courses and a bunch of free courses, and thankfully the Python free course is totally free. They also have a similar evaluation technique to Treehouse in the nature that they give you quizzes at the end of each one of the modules. So if you want to get started without having to enter your credit card details in, then maybe starting with Codecademy is a good shout. Once you're feeling confident with Python, it's time to start exploring the libraries and tools you'll be using on a regular basis in a data science context. These libraries and tools are Matplotlib, Numpy, Pandas, and Jupyter Notebooks. Matplotlib is used for visualizing data like charts and graphs. Numpy is a mathematics library for Python, which allows you to do matrix multiplications, which you'll probably be doing quite a lot of, along with a bunch of other more complex mathematical functions. Pandas is an amazing library for visualizing and manipulating tabular data, and Jupyter Notebooks will allow you to run your Python code one section at a time. You'll also need to get to grips with a machine learning library like PyTorch or TensorFlow, but we're going to cover that in the next section. Now, learning the ins and outs of every single one of those libraries might sound pretty daunting because they're quite big, complex libraries and would take a long time to be able to sift through all of the documentation for them. Thankfully, there is a free online book called Python for Data Analysis, which covers all of these libraries, which is really cool. The book is written by Wes McKinney and published by O'Reilly. It is entirely free. The book isn't super long and it will essentially teach you all the necessary bits that you need to know about all of those libraries I just mentioned in the context of data science. Finally, once you've got that understanding of Python, your mathematical understanding, and you're up to speed with all of those libraries I just mentioned, it's now time to start learning about deep learning. The course that I would recommend watching is Daniel Burke's Learn PyTorch for Deep Learning in a Day. It is totally free. It is 24 hours long, which is wild. Daniel has a really good style of teaching by basically breaking down really complex subjects into much smaller pieces. This means that throughout the course, everything that you're tackling feels manageable and it feels like a natural progression from what you've just learned. But after a couple of hours, you'll feel a lot more confident working with things like tensors just because of the way that he teaches. Another one of my favorite things about this course is that Daniel doesn't shy away from when things go wrong. If he encounters an error or a bug, he works through it methodically, speaking through exactly his thought process so that you can understand exactly how you can then apply that bug fixing approach to your own code. When I've been writing my own neural networks, I've run into those exact same bugs that Daniel has run into, and because I remember Daniel running into them, I can then apply that same knowledge to my code base. Finally, once you've worked through Daniel's PyTorch course, I'd recommend having a look at Hugging Face's NLP course. Hugging Face, if you're not aware, is effectively a hub of AI-based models, datasets, and experiments. And most new AI models are typically published to Hugging Face. Hugging Face's NLP course is a really good course to round out all of your AI knowledge because it's going to lean on a lot of your mathematics knowledge that you've been working on previously. It will also use a lot of that PyTorch knowledge too. By the end of Hugging Face's NLP course, you'll be much more up to date on how you can fine-tune your own LLM. On top of that, you'll also be up to speed with how you can download and interface with other datasets that are available on the Hugging Face hub. Finally, when you're a lot more confident working with machine learning and AI, I would recommend having a look at Kaggle.com's competitions section. Kaggle's competitions are a way to apply all of that deep learning knowledge to real problems with real data. The competition will usually involve an overview of what the goals and the aims of the competition are. They'll also offer up a dataset that you can work with, and they'll also have a metric that you can use to measure how successful the model is. As a result of this, there is an entire leaderboard for every single one of these competitions, which means that people get naturally very competitive about wanting to hit the top spot. My favorite thing though about Kaggle's competitions is the fact that you can see everyone else's submissions. So if you're stuck on one of these competitions, or maybe you just don't even know how to start, you can have a look at some of the top notebooks, which are implementations of the solution, which then helps you learn more about solving real world problems. And that's everything that I wanted to cover in this video. If you enjoyed this video, or maybe I missed something, please do drop me a comment down below. Thanks very much, and I will see you in the next one.